Okay, guys and gals, I am going to, in this, uh, actually, let's go to Taki's page so it's pretty congruent here. In this video, I'm going to talk about Adsets and give you just an overview of all the of all the Adset settings and what they mean, and give you a little bit more breakdown and explanation of these. And then in the Facebook Ads Advanced course, I'll talk strategically more about different ways to do this, but I'm going to give you just sort of an explanation and then what I think are best practices for simple, kind of run-of-the-mill, straightforward campaigns. So let's just create an ad set here. So let's actually, this is under create a new campaign. Let's just say that we are going to create an a video view campaign. Will be fine because we've got tons of things for Taki. Video view test, because we're not going to complete the whole campaign. So that's all you choose on the campaign tab is the objective, which we've done, and you give it a name. Now we are to the ad set. And so, and I didn't follow my naming conventions there, but I will on this, just so you know. So it'd be top of funnel, and this would be probably like a, I would say this would be like a mini chat campaign would be why we would be running video views maybe, or it could be, well, let's just do it as an auto webinar. Like pretend that we're doing an auto webinar campaign for for video views. We would probably do bottom of funnel. So let's say this is bottom of funnel auto webinar, and this is video views, and that's the objective. And then we will add in what our targeting is in a minute. And then what we would probably do is I'll break down all the settings and when you would use them and how you'd use them. But since we're doing bottom of funnel here, we would certainly be using a custom audience, not a lookalike. So a lookalike audience is cold traffic. Custom audience is warm traffic. Okay. So if this is a bottom of funnel, then what I would probably do is pick one of these custom audiences we've created. So maybe bottom of funnel, auto webinar, objection handler for video that's been viewed 50%. And that would work. We choose that. It's got about 1,000 people. So then our name of this would be the bottom of funnel. Actually, I wouldn't have to call it bottom of funnel again, but I'd call it objection handler for 50% video view is my audience that I've chosen. And so I know that's a custom audience, so I don't have to put CA on it. So that would be what I would choose there. And then I would probably, the next thing that you would do, the next setting on here on the ad set level is once you choose a custom audience, you have the ability to then exclude certain people. And what I would do in this case is I would exclude a custom audience, again, warm people, of people who might have, who would we exclude in this case? Like you think about it, we would exclude people who've purchased, right? Because you don't want to be running a bottom of funnel ad to somebody who's already purchased, right? We might be excluding someone who, if it was like a, say it was a an auto webinar that you were running for appointments, then we might actually exclude someone who completed the appointment already instead of maybe I lost them in here somewhere. So in this case, we exclude purchase if you're running it for product sales or something like that. But we could also, if let's see if I can find it. There should be one for like complete registration, not for webinar, but like somewhere. These are all these. Maybe we don't have a custom audience for complete registrations. We should. Well, actually, you know what? We won't, because we don't run auto webinars for Taki for appointments. So in other accounts we do. So that's why it's not showing up in here. But in other accounts that we do run auto webinars for clients who want to do it for appointments, then there is a custom audience that is complete registration. And so if instead of it being a purchase webinar, we were running an application webinar, then we would have a custom audience in here for complete registration that we would be running retargeting for this. So in any case, those are some exclusions you would do because you don't want the ads to show to those people. Also, the other thing that is like a ninja thing that you would want to do, and you got to really pay attention and think about this, but a good exclusion to run as well is the custom audience of people who have viewed this video by 50%. And so what that means is that you can, after the post is chosen and everything, you can come back and add an exclusion of people who have watched this video that amount, so that or have watched the current video, which would be like whatever the next one is, Objection Handler 5. So say this is we're running it to these people, and this is the Objection Handler 5. Then you would have the next one in there. So you can't exclude and target the exact same audience, but you would exclude and target the people. I'm probably confusing this for you. There are cool ways that we'll be able to do this, and I'll explain them when I get into those strategic things. But just understand at this point that you are able to exclude people who might have done another action from the targeting that we're running here. So next is locations, and you can do a lot of cool stuff with locations. You can just do it by country like that. You can do it by city and have it come in like that. Or you can do it even smaller and have it be, around like an address, like, say it was like 3723 Birch Street, Newport Beach, California. That's our office complex. And so we can take Sydney off of the thing and have Birch, and then we can make this go in. And if I want to change this down, I can take it down, I think even past a mile, but a mile is pretty small. And we can take it, up to, I think, 50 miles around us. And so you could have, like if your business is very geo-targeted, you could have, something that's just like 5 miles around your business or something. And that gives you like people that are in driving distance to your stuff or so on and so forth. And there's some advanced layering things that I'll teach you later in the advanced course that go in, or strategies that go into how to like really, really find good quality prospects by doing some cool ninja stuff. So anyways, this is how the location stuff works, and you can do it all sorts of different ways to do this. One of the other things that we used to do is we would take, and you can take zip codes and do it that way as well. So this is like the zip code I live in here, 92660. And so you can take zip codes and have just a bunch of zip codes as you're targeting. So that's really good if you have something like we used to do this for drug rehab, because there are certain zip codes that are likely to have people with good insurance versus zip codes with people with not as good insurance. So, anyways, so there's lots of different ways you can do this, and you can also exclude as well, just like you can in most of the other things. Next is age, and age is broken down. You can go as low as 13, and it's broken down in these categories of like 9 years or something like that. It's 18 to 24 is an age group, and then 25 to 34, 35 to 44, 45 to 54, 55 to 64, and then 65 and up. And so I find that that's how your stats are going to be displayed when you run stats. So I like to, if I'm going to knock somebody out, then I'll just go ahead and knock everybody out of that category so my stats display cleanly. So so I would start, if you're going to go, unless there's some reason why you would need a 23-year-old, then I would start at 25, just for what it's worth. Gender stuff, men and women, you can split those out. Also, when you're checking your ads, I'll show you this in a second, you can look at how your ads are performing, and you can see how it's going, men and women and all this stuff. Then the next thing here is detailed targeting. And there are 3 different kinds of main targeting that you're able to do here, which is demographic, interest, and behaviors. And these are really good if you layer them on top of each other. A lot of times if you just throw out an interest by itself, it's not going to do it nearly as well as if you will throw a layer or 2 on top of it. Or if you layer it with maybe some geography or age demographics, geography, men, women, all this sort of stuff. So for instance, demographic stuff, you have all kinds of things that you can do. You can do based on home ownership, if they're a first-time home buyer, homeowner, or renter, home type, whether it's an apartment, a condo, or a multi-single family home, etc. Home value. Now, I don't find that these are always accurate, just so you know, but you can play around with them and see, right? But you can tell now some of these are really good. Like grandparents is actually a pretty good one to test. Obviously, if you were like in an e-commerce world, new parents would be, something that'd be worthwhile. Veterans in the home, that's a great one to target if you had, say, like a mortgage offer for VA loans. So some of these are really, worthwhile. Young adults in home, that was one that we used in the drug rehab space, because when they're young adults still living at home, a lot of times those are the people that are addicted to heroin. And so we found that was layered a good target there. So life events, obviously birthday, anniversary, I think, all this sort of stuff. I think there's new baby on here somewhere. Oh, parents, maybe this is it. All parents, new parents, there you go. Parents of toddlers, again, like really good, really, really good stuff to mess around with if you're going to try to figure out the different marketing stuff. Politics, it's got like whether you're conservative, liberal, or moderate. I use these to just to create viral commented posts. We'll make a post that's controversial, and we'll run traffic from both sides to it. So we'll run conservatives and liberals and get people riled up so that they'll argue, which is great for your post. Self-reported, so there's a few of those people that do that. Blah, 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 blah. Relationship status. You got a lot of choices there. Work. You can choose different employers. Like if it has a search box here, excuse me, that means you can search for it. So like you could search for probably like I don't know, say Coca-Cola. See if they've got one. Um, let's see. IBM, maybe. There you go. IBM. Probably didn't spell Coca-Cola right. But IBM, there's 687,000 people that work for IBM on here. Let's see, what would be another one? Like Google, maybe? Yeah, there you go. 800,000 people that work for Google. If you were an HR person and you were trying to run ads to steal somebody away from a company, that might be a smart thing. Like what would be like LinkedIn? Yeah, 14,000 people that work for LinkedIn. Um, what's another company, Jenna? It'd be decent size. Walmart. There you go. Walmart. 2 million people that work for Walmart. So there you go. So that's there's real value in some of this stuff. Industries, um, etc. So you get the idea. Like this is very, you can get real specific, especially if you layer these and do more than one. Interests, okay, business and family, or business and industry, family relationships, shopping. So these seem pretty broad, right? But there's actually quite a few that fall under interests that are not choices in any of these. Like entrepreneurship has 192 million people. Well, there's a lot of choices under entrepreneurship that you can type in, like people-based interests, like Tony Robbins has 15 million followers. Gary Vaynerchuk, right? He's big in entrepreneurship, 13 million people, etc. So you can test and see if audiences are there. But like me, I'm not an audience yet. I'm not big enough. Darn it. And anyways, so interest are the next one, and then last is behaviors. And behaviors, again, you got to check and see, but there's some real interesting things you can do here, like expats that are living in other countries, digital activities, like gamers, Facebook page admins. Why would that be a valuable thing to know? Well, maybe these are people that own a business. If they're a page admin of their sites, could be that Facebook access with older devices, console, Canvas operating system used. Internet browser used, right? So those are valuable to know. Here we go, operating system. That's it. So, if they're Windows or Mac, that's pretty cool, right? And AOL, Gmail, Hotmail, MSN, Yahoo, small business owners, technology, early adopters. So these are like really smart, good things. There's one here called, where's it at? In market for a purchase. Where is it? Maybe it's consumer classification. No, that's not it. Hang on, I've got all this stuff open. Is it financial? Spending methods. That'd be good to know. Active credit card user. Holy crap, right? That's super valuable. But there's a behavior that says that they're in the market. Hang on, I've got all this stuff open. Let me see if I can find purchase behavior. Here you go. So business purchases, they're in the market for business marketing. If you're an agency, do you think that'd be a good target to choose? Probably. Buyer profiles, coupons, fashionistas, foodies, gamers, etc. There's a lot, sportsmen, and being able to cross over on these is really the smart thing to do. Clothing, engage shoppers, food and drink, health and beauty, home and garden, household, kids, pet, purchase types, appliances, arts and crafts, etc. Those are good. Home office, 41 million people. That's probably like if you're trying to reach a coach, somebody's in the market to buy home office stuff, just a thought, right? restaurant, small home office products, software, toys, travel, upscale, women's, etc. So you get the idea, I think, here that being in the purchase behavior category gives you some really good options to test around. Now, again, I know it takes money and takes time to test all this stuff. I guess I should make this like this so it's cool and not show on the back of my screen. I know it is, but this is a long game, right? So you figure this stuff out. Once you get something that works, then it's super valuable to you. So that's all the detailed targeting, and that's part of why Facebook is hard, right? Because you have so many options, and you're like, holy crap, man! I could spend the rest of my life just trying to find the right combination of these things, and you could. But ultimately, that's one of the values of being in a group like this is hopefully we'll learn from other people and from our experience, like me running ads across, a couple dozen different verticals, gives you guys some visibility into what's working in some of these other places. But also, if we end up with 1,000 people in here and we're talking through this stuff, it'll give us all some ideas about, how to make it work for our businesses. So edit placements, so the next one is placements. So I would say that if, I don't know, there was a time when you had to edit placements because the audience network was crap and it didn't convert. I find it's getting better now. So, it's something you might want to test. So I would maybe edit placements when you are starting out and you have, I would definitely run all devices unless you don't have your mobile version of your site dialed in. But I would probably edit placements on the first versions where I'm going super targeted and tight, like this. And then as I broaden it out, you might go to automatic placements so it'll find you more conversions. Down here, you can choose what kind of mobile devices that you want to run. Now, this is something that's interesting. Only when it's connected to Wi-Fi. What I've found is when you do this, you get higher quality every time. So, it lowers your number. It raises your cost per opt-in or conversion, but the quality is usually significantly higher for what that's worth. Apply block lists, exclude categories. If you have, you can create block lists. That's beyond the scope of this, but I can explain what some of that is later. Budget and schedule, lifetime budget or daily budget, right? So that's a choice that you make. I generally like to run daily budgets if I can. There are strategic reasons to run lifetime budgets to try to, do cost stuff and things like that some people do. And I've tried it and it's okay. Sometimes it does better, sometimes it doesn't. It's not a hard and fast rule like you would think. So, but daily budgets, it can just keep going for a long time. Here's the schedule. Optimization for ad delivery. If you're running a video view campaign, it's going to optimize for video views, but you could optimize for engagement. You can optimize for conversion. You can optimize for a bunch of different things. Bid amount, I leave this to automatic. The main time I use manual is if my ad set stalls and I want to try and give it a, put the paddles on it and get the heart back pumping. I might do manual and do a specific strategy, but I'll cover that in another video. But most of the time it's smart to just use the automatic bidding, get charged on impression, run ads all the time, standard. So that should give you a decent explanation of how all this stuff works. If you get stuck trying to figure it out, obviously you can use save audiences too, if you want, but ultimately, if you want to run some ads and you are looking to figure out the ad set stuff and get stuck, just put a question in the group. But hopefully, this gives you guys an idea of what the ad set choices are and some thoughts about them. So, talk to you soon.